So will he, won't he? It's what we're all waiting to find out. Will Tiger Woods play in the Masters? It has been 14 months since his horrific car crash that left his right leg severely injured. He has not played competitive golf, a PGA Tour event, since. Now, after what he said a couple months ago that he was having difficulty walking, we're thinking, no, there's no way Tiger Woods is going to play the Masters. Well, that's not the case anymore. The Big Cat tweeting out this: I will be heading up to Augusta today, continue my preparation and practice. It will be a game time decision on whether I compete. He also gave a shout out to Anna Davis, 16 years old, who won the Augusta National Women's Amateur. Let's welcome in the guys behind the First Cut podcast. Kyle, Porter, Rick Gehman here. Kyle, I want to start with you because I've been watching you and Brandon on the mornings, and a couple weeks ago you gave it maybe like a 5 out of 10 that Tiger Woods was going to play the Masters. Where are we now?
We're not 5 out of 10 anymore. You know, I compared this Tiger going to play Augusta on the Sunday before in the twilight at, you know, that's such a magical place, Amanda. And then not playing in the tournament, it would be like me going in the merchandise area later on this week and pretending like I'm not going to buy any, like I'm not going to walk out of there with 2 or 3 bags worth of stuff. Tiger Woods is going to play the Masters. You don't show up, go through all that preparation and do everything that he's doing and then leave on Wednesday night. That's very, very difficult to envision. Now, what he does when he does tee it up is going to be interesting. Can he make the cut? Can he work his way into contention? I think that's an extraordinarily difficult task to ask even somebody like Tiger Woods after not having played a competitive event in 17 months and after the horrific car crash that he went through that you mentioned. So I'm fascinated by it. I think the entire golf world is wrapped just by what's going to unfold with Tiger at Augusta National this year.
Yeah, we certainly are wrapped all eyes and ears on Tiger Woods. This guy's playing. Come on. 14 months is a marathon to get ready for the Masters, and just a couple of days out, you would know if you were incapable of playing. We're not at that point. Tiger, in his own words, continuing his practice and preparation. That sounds like a guy who's going to tee it up on Thursday morning. And just in the bit of footage that we just saw him arriving at Augusta National, going through the full bag from wedge through driver, he looks fairly fit. Now, as Kyle mentions, that might change. The optimism might change on Friday, maybe on Saturday if he makes cut, even on Sunday, because to go from 0 competitive rounds to 2 straight or 4 straight at Augusta National in the heat of the battle for the Masters, it's a completely different thing. But if the question that stands right now is whether or not Tiger Woods is going to play on Thursday, he's definitely playing.
And by the way, Tiger Woods is going to have a press conference tomorrow, I believe, at 11 a.m. Eastern. We will carry that live here on CBS Sports HQ to see what the Big Cat says there. But I think we're all in agreement. He's going to try until he cannot anymore. Somebody else who might be in that same boat, the defending Masters champ, Hideki Matsuyama. He is now withdrawn from back-to-back tournaments ahead of the Masters. He was through, I think, like the second round of Valero, said he had neck issues there. Rick, I'll start with you on this one. He said he had a good practice this weekend, and it sort of feels like the Tiger thing. He's going to try until he can't.
Yeah, absolutely. This is such a shame for Hideki Matsuyama because obviously his victory last year, we are not going to know how big that victory was for the game of golf for probably 20 years. We might look back in 20 years when there are a ton of new young Japanese stars who are taking the PGA Tour by storm, and all of that is going to be attributed to the win from Hideki Matsuyama last year, similar to the depth of the PGA Tour that we have right now being attributed to Tiger Woods. So we really don't know the impact of that win, but I can tell you right now, it was massive. And it's going to be a real shame if Hideki Matsuyama, who's going to get all the pomp and circumstance this week, if you think the Japanese media is usually large at PGA Tour events or at major championships, for Hideki Matsuyama, it's going to be a multiple of that this week. And it would be a shame if he wasn't able to compete at his highest level. So just rooting for Hideki to get healthy, to feel well, and hopefully be a bit competitive this week.
Yeah, I agree. I'm bummed for Hideki. He's been such a fun star on the PGA Tour and at the Masters for a long time. You know, he was low am 11 years ago now. Obviously wins the tournament last year, and you don't want to go into this week where you're the defending champion. You got to handle the champions dinner. You have all these responsibilities feeling the way that he feels. I think that if you're looking at somebody to repeat, which has only been done 3 times, Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, and Nick Faldo, Hideki's probably not going to be your guy, just because even though he's been playing better than he was this time last year going into the Masters, you can't really trust where the health is at right now. When you miss the Players' Championship, when you withdraw the week before the tournament, the signs don't point to him having a great week this week at Augusta National.
Let's talk about Rory, still in search of that career Grand Slam. He is a favorite to win with 18-1 odds. Rick, he's coming off a missed cut, though, at the Valero, and I feel like there's just so many great golfers on the tour right now that we hadn't talked about Rory a whole bunch, but he had 2 wins in 2021. How do you feel about Rory heading into the Masters?
Yeah, it's funny. All of our best players are playing well at the moment. The depth of the PGA Tour is incredible. But even the fact that Rory McIlroy missed the cut last week at the Valero Texas Open, I kind of like it. You know, this is the first time in a long time that he's played the week before the Masters. He usually plays the WGC match play event, and then he takes off until he gets to Augusta National. And when you have arguably the greatest golf accomplishment hanging over your head, the career Grand Slam, and you have that hanging over your head in all of your practice rounds and all of your preparation leading into the Masters, it's a lot to handle. And this year he said, I'm going to play the week before. I'm going to play my way in, maybe use the Valero Texas Open as a way to focus on something else, something besides just dreaming of slipping on the green jacket on Sunday afternoon. So I like that he played the week before. I don't like that he missed the cut, but Rory McIlroy, when he gets to Augusta National and he starts whipping out that driver, which is his weapon, he's going to put himself in contention. I think it's smart for Rory to change up the routine and play the week before the Masters.
Kyle, the last golfer we saw to win back-to-back majors was our good friend. I'm going to pretend he's our good friend, Jordan Spieth. Back in 2015, Colin Morikawa has the chance to do it, though. If he were to win the Masters, he won the Open last July, finished T18 last year at the Masters. How do you feel about Colin heading into this week?
Well, I mean, you have to feel great about somebody who has 2 major wins at the age of 25. I mean, he's still so young. He hasn't even played. I think he's played in 8 or 9 majors total. He's won 2 of them. The thing that I'm really interested by for this week, Amanda, with him is he kind of confessed last year that he went to Augusta and tried to play the course differently than he plays other courses. And that place has a way of doing that to you, forcing you into uncomfortable positions. Colin Morikawa hits probably the best 2-yard fade of anybody in the world with every club up and down the bag. And he kind of said, I went there thinking like, I got to hit these draws. I got to play the holes these different ways. And it's like, no, I don't. I can just hit my fade on pretty much every hole, depending on where I'm aiming, depending on where the wind is blowing. And I can kind of play my game at Augusta National. Now, saying that and then going out and doing it are obviously 2 very different things. But I think it's important for him early in his career to not to try to bend the course to his will, to try to do the things that he's best at, which is hitting that 1, 2, 3-yard fade instead of trying to hit these draws up and down the course at Augusta National. So I'm interested to see if that remains the game plan for this year and if he's able to execute it better than he has in the past.
All right, gents, it is just now settling in. It is Masters week. I'm so excited. I got my green on for this reason. Kyle Porter, let's start with you. Your pick to win.
My pick to win is Justin Thomas. He's been one of the 4 or 5 best ball strikers in the world so far in 2022. Until last year, Amanda, in each of his 5 starts, he had improved his position on the final leaderboard at the Masters. So it's a place that he's clearly learned at. He's taken away a lot of things from playing with Tiger Woods, playing with Fred Couples in practice rounds over the years. And I think JT would say that his major career thus far has been kind of disappointing. It hasn't lived up to what he probably thought it would be. I think that changes this week. I think after so many close calls over the first quarter of this year, I think he breaks through with his first win of 2022 at the place that he most wants it.
Oh boy, Kyle and I must spend too much time together because I too think Justin Thomas is going to win the Masters. And this is someone that I've certainly been laser focused on for the past 3-4 months. Kyle's absolutely right. The form at Augusta National, the history at Augusta National, and even his, T21 last year looks a lot worse than it actually was. He played himself out of it on one hole. On one hole on Saturday, he makes a big number, and that's the end of Justin Thomas. Outside of that, 71 other holes holes. He was essentially in the mix for the entirety of the event. And whether he has as many major championships on his mantle or on his resume as he would like, he's still a prolific winner because he's one of the best ball strikers that we have in the world. Now, that putter right there is going to be the question mark. Will that cooperate enough on these tricky Augusta National greens for him to slip on the green jacket? I think it will.
Guys, thanks so much. We'll talk to you a lot more this week. It is time to watch the azaleas. First Cut podcast with these two. Latest episode, it is all about Tiger Woods, the game time decision, also recap of the Valero Open. Unlikely winner, JJ Spaun, was ranked 396th. You can check him out at the Masters now because of that. Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.